TIFU by not understanding the male anatomy. TIFU by completely misunderstanding male anatomy. This happened to me. 25F. Yesterday. My male partner had made some kind of movement to put his little hanging friends in a bad position. After making some loud noises and readjusting, he said something along the lines of, "You'd think I'd know how to handle them, they've been hanging for 30 years. Well, me, thinking I was very clever, said, "Well, only really since high school. When did yours drop?" He burst out laughing and I still didn't understand because I had always heard of it being referred to as a male's balls dropping. FYI, that does not happen. And apparently men find the idea of them just popping out one day hilarious. I suddenly sympathize with the men who don't understand periods. I got about 5 minutes of straight laughter and am sure he will bring this up many times in the years to come. TL. Doctor, I thought men's testicles were inside the body and dropped out during puberty. They don't. In your biology, anatomy education, someone really dropped the balls along the way. I suspect that was in high school. As an infant, my son's doctor was checking that his testicles dropped. I was talking to a friend about it. Her nephew had one testy undescended. And her husband bust in and started correcting that men don't drop their testicles until they hit their teens. Turned out, he had some problems as well, which he still adamantly denied, despite the fact that they were dealing with fertility issues ATM. That was an awkward conversation. Wait until she find out our penis falls off around puberty and our adult penis grows in. I remember not knowing that balls even existed until I was around 15. I thought balls was just another of the many nicknames for the penis. I had sex ed when I was like 11, but I had no idea what was going on or how to interpret medical diagrams. And the atmosphere was so awkward that I was too embarrassed to ask. I enjoyed this, more of a today I said something stupid but still a good laugh. You should run for Congress and start writing men's health bills immediately. Lol. No, they don't. It is possible for them to be inside the abdomen. But that's a medical issue that usually requires surgical correction. Technically they do drop, but it happens when you're still in the womb. Forgive me, but they don't do this? Also, a testy can get tangled in the vessel that transports the sperm when ejaculation happens. I had that and my testes would kinda suck up closer to my body and hurt a little. I thought it was normal as a teen because you don't want to talk about your testes to anyone in that sense when you are developing. Anyway, for the most part one guess they would twist but then untwist. It's common in adolescence and is easy to correct apparently. However, if they are twisted too long or too much it can cut off blood flow. This happened to me in my late 20s. I went to the hospital because the pain was so bad. I had to wait 3 hours in the ER to be seen. It was a weekend at night near Christmas. The doctor who saw me was younger and newer. He didn't know what it was. I didn't either. He thought it was some bruising or something and the pain would go down in the morning. If not, come back to the ER. The pain didn't go away. It was so bad I was vomiting and I could only sit for short periods. Finally went back to the ER, got in quicker this time. A very attractive female did an ultrasound on me. In another circumstance I probably would have got a boner for sure. I was in so much pain I could not think about anything. Anyway, the urologist on call was called after my ultrasound came back and I was told I had to go for emergency surgery. I called my mom crying. Nothing like this had happened to me before. The worst was actually not the pain pre-surgery. After surgery my balls swelled up to the size of baseballs and were tender for days. The swelling went down eventually. They had to remove most of one testy but the other was intact. At a follow appointment the urologist said because this is more common in preteens I have the balls of like a 12-year-old. Also the amount of pain I was in would give me a free pass if I ever decided to have children. I am a father now and have also had a vasectomy since then. Click Save button. They don't really drop per se. They just descend. I'm a grown man so I don't recall details but I do have a son who recently went through it. He would sometimes walk around naked around the house. He thought he was funny and would just laugh hysterically when he got people's attention. When it finally happened to him, he was more than happy to show everyone, much to the dismay of his teenage sisters. So there is no drop per se but there is a descent of the testicles. It is pretty evident and they go from being little kid balls to man testicles. Perhaps it's not even a drop and the testicle just grow and they look like a drop. Either way there is a very evident difference so I can see where the belief that there was a drop comes from. I think as you grow up you'd really don't recall any of this. So for many men they believe there never was a difference. And unless you have a small son, you would never see the difference ever again. Must never have been around any moms with baby boys. Lol. I honestly don't recall being taught that in health class. We talked about pregnancy and birth, but we didn't get too far into what you actually do with a baby. But I had nieces and nephews to babysit, so I got the experience firsthand. Did you never see a baby? Actually they do, but it happens still in infancy. Hence the insult, "You're so immature your balls haven't dropped." Usually it's happened by 9 months. I was told the phrase comes from horses. I have seen that with stallions. They don't really show until they're about 2 years old or more. They actually do drop, but it's usually during your infancy stage. That's where the joke, "What did your balls just drop?" comes from when your friend has a voice crack. It's an extreme take. That says that you're not only prepubescent, you haven't even hit the stage where your balls drop. I guess we can say that it takes some balls to understand male anatomy. Exclamation mark. GIF. That is pretty funny. It is a misunderstanding but kind of a subtle one. I am sure they become bigger during puberty. So it is sort of true in the same sense that breasts do. Nothing really to heckle you about. I was a farm kid and some animals are born with them down. And some aren't. Oddly enough I never wondered if human babies are born with their testicles undescended. But I've never seen a naked infant.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.